Hey everybody, welcome back for another Eiyuden Chronicle update. So, I think everyone's pretty much heard now that Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is being released May 10th. I think that's pretty much common knowledge. So this update, I'm very much expecting it to be a Eiyuden Chronicle Rising focused one again, but we have gotten some Eiyuden Chronicle Rising 100 Heroes information as well in some of these more kind of prequel focused updates. So let's get into it. Hey there, heroes! We're back with another monthly update, and we're just days away from the release of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, landing May 10th. And for those not in the know, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising will be available on all platforms at the SRP of US $14.99. Oh, I gotta tell them what platform I want too. I got that email. Whether you're already invested or still on the fence, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising has already received a ton of praise that is sure to excite. Oh, it's actually gotten some reviews. I haven't even checked any of these out. So a lot of these seem to be praising the way the game looks, definitely liking the characters. They think the game has a lot of promise, and apparently it looks better in motion than screenshots can show. So nope, looking forward to it. I probably won't read too many other reviews. I kind of want to judge it for myself, and I don't like kind of getting other people's opinions mixed with mine before I kind of have my own solidified. So yeah, good to know. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising fulfillment. We have some great news. We're beginning to receive the product key codes for Eiyuden Chronicle Rising and are preparing them to be sent out a little early. That does not mean the game will be playable early, of course, as the product keys will not activate until the game's formal release. In anticipation of an influx of customer service related queries around this time, we ask that you be patient with us in this regard, and that queries expressing that their product key does not work ahead of the game's launch may go unanswered as we prioritize. We will be posting another update on May 8th that will focus on any logistical issues that may occur surrounding the launch of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, so please keep an eye out for that. The complete backer fact. Okay, I'm gonna skip some of this stuff because this is just about about backer issues or whatever and survey issues. So I'm just gonna scroll through this slowly if you want to read it for yourselves. It's just kind of a lot of minutia, I think. Okay, scrolling. ED store, yeah, I gotta answer that. Okay, I'm going through that. Platform selection, yada yada yada. Okay, let's get to some of the meatier stuff here. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. Question 1. The original goal was to have both games connected. Is that still the case? Definitely. Absolutely. But due to hardware policies and limitations, you need to play them both on the same platform, e.g. Steam, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation. Yeah, so I was going to get it for the Switch, but it hasn't. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes hasn't been confirmed for that console yet, even though it probably will come to it. Additionally, you will be able to upgrade your PS4 and Xbox One versions to the PS5 and Xbox Series X respectively, and then carry that data over to 100 Heroes on the same hardware. You cannot downgrade Rising data from the PS5 to the PS4. Wouldn't even occur to me to do that. And then carry it over to a PS4 copy of 100 Heroes. However, it will be possible to do so between Xbox services and consoles. Xbox One/Series S/X/PC Game Pass. Will Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes be released on the Switch? Here we go. While the release of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes has not been confirmed for the Nintendo Switch, we are currently undergoing a technical investigation into development for a Switch version of the game. If you purchase Eiyuden Chronicle Rising for the Nintendo Switch, then you will be able to enjoy the crossover content in Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes on any Nintendo console version confirmed in the future. And there will be an eventual Nintendo version, just maybe not for the Switch, as they've said since the beginning, pretty much. I'm not a fan of action JRPGs and aren't particularly interested in Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. Will this diminish my experience playing Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes? Maybe the tiniest bit. But if it's anything like Suikoden, they're very much meant to be standalone by and large, so I don't think so. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is a supplemental experience to Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. While it provides additional backstory for certain characters, obviously, you'll still be able to enjoy the full adventure waiting for you in Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Pretty much what I and most of us probably expected. How much will Eiyuden Chronicle Rising cost? It's cheaper for us backers. For those who purchase the game via the crowdfunding campaign or the Legacy Backer Store, the game will cost $7. For non-backers, it'll be $15. American. Will I be able to play different languages on my selected version? Yes, and they kind of said this in a previous update. I'm just going to scroll through it. There are a bunch of different languages available, regardless of region. It looks like Japan's only English and Japanese, though. Okay. Production updates, some meaty stuff. Murayama's monthly development report. The release of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is almost here. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising was an idea born from a Kickstarter stretch goal meeting. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes began as a project thanks to the support of our backers through Kickstarter. It differs from your typical game development in that the wait between the title's announcement and eventual release is much longer. Longer still because it is an RPG which can take years to develop. And so the creation of a companion game was proposed as an idea that would fill that gap. Hey, I'm on board for it. The development team members expressed concern at first. We knew that Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was released as a companion game to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. They were both Ashen games, albeit with different directions. We couldn't simply imagine how a game that would complement Eiyuden Chronicle's command-style RPG could be made on a limited budget. That's fair. Not to mention the companion game would need to be developed separately from the core Eiyuden Chronicle title, which left us with the problem of finding a company that we could commission to make it. Natsumi Atari was one of the many candidate companies we looked at. I personally trusted them as a company, and their plan to create an action RPG fit within the companion game's requirement of having a limited budget and still being fun with fewer number of characters. Yeah, there's no way it's going to have the same amount as 100 Heroes. In our meeting with Natsumi Atari, we learned that we shared the same values about what makes an RPG enjoyable, such as the fun of building out your characters and the joy of completing smaller, less intense sub-goals. They also made sure to note that many of the people who will be playing Eiyuden Chronicle Rising are people who are looking forward to playing a command-based RPG. RPGs and action RPGs are different genres born from different purposes and goals they aim to achieve. But I believe that at their roots, they offer the same kind of fun. I hope you enjoy Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. One of the few pastimes left to me these days is going on walks. Cherry blossoms, a reminder of the season, add an extra amount of pleasure for my walks. Yes, they were very beautiful this year. A word from the team, Kawano. Every cherry blossom season, I quite enjoy finding a particular type of cherry tree while on a walk. I mean, the ones that have blossoms that bloom from the trunk, not just from the branches. When I see one, I can't help but think to myself, oh, they're doing their best to bloom here too, and it cheers me right up. But this is secretly a guilty pleasure of mine, LOL. I think the blossoms were in bloom for quite a while this year, but I didn't get much of a chance to go out and see them. Hopefully, I'll get to see a lot more next year. Well, that's some beautiful looking blossoms there. Bye for now. Murakami. I let myself get so wrapped up in my work this year that I fell ill and had to rest. Next thing I knew, the cherry blossom season in Tokyo was already over. I was so frustrated that I jumped in the car and drove somewhere colder in an attempt to follow the cherry blossom front, but when I arrived, I found out they hadn't really started blooming there yet. Gosh darn it. With no other alternative, I picked up some magic powder called Art Fire and threw it into an open fire I'd make. Like magic, the fire lit up in a rainbow of color. Aw, that's beautiful. That's so cute. Whoa, it's beautiful, I thought to myself. And that was how my cherry blossom season ended this year. ... Kamuda. With the weather warming up, cherry blossom season has come and gone in the blink of an eye, but the pollen is still hanging around. Darn it. The pollen hasn't got me too much here. In an attempt to share the Japanese cherry blossom season with you, we're sharing a glimpse into the daily lives of each member of the team. And here's my entry where I visit the Great Buddha of 2022 this spring. Oh, so he's visiting the Gundam statue. That's sick. I have yet to see one of those in person in Japan. I might have to make the trip. Love Gundam. It's just too hard for people of our generation to resist. It was amazing to see, and it moves to boot. Moving swiftly along, the launch of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is almost upon us. This game is a prequel to the main game, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, set in a town called New Nevea, and following the adventures of CJ, Isha, and Garu. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. It's an adventure that can be enjoyed 120% all its own. The action segments are simple yet exhilarating and can be enjoyed by anyone. Not to mention, I love Satomi-san's story and find it so exciting that it's difficult to find a place to stop. As you continue with the town's development, you'll also stumble upon these delicious looking shiny black eggs. Interesting. I sincerely hope you'll recommend this game to friends who don't yet know about Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, and remember, you can transfer your data from Eiyuden Chronicle Rising to Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes 2. Oops, I almost forgot to show you some of the all-important spring season. Very nice. I think I've gone on long enough. I hope you will continue to support Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes and Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. Like a very, very light update, this update. Very much just developers sharing their thoughts on spring. And once again, it's very Eiyuden Chronicle Rising focused. And they'll probably obviously talk a little bit more about the launch of Eiyuden Chronicle Rising and, its successes and stuff like that. Of course, they'll have to give it a final send off in that regard. So no, once again, very light, just kind of giving you some updates for some of the problems you might encounter with your backer codes, how the game connects still, what to expect. Once again, very light update. I was expecting maybe a little bit more, definitely a little bit about Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, but thank you for joining me as always for this Eiyuden Chronicle update, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with a Eiyuden Chronicle Rising review for sure. Might even post some gameplay too. We'll see how things go. It's not supposed to be a super long game, so I might post some of my reactions to the story, stuff like that. And maybe just some highlights of the gameplay, stuff I think that's really good as well. I probably should at least do that. 100 Heroes I'll be doing a lot of content for probably, so I'll probably do a little bit for this one too. So no, as always, thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.